It was a damp night in Oakland. The fine rain fell incessantly, creating puddles on the sidewalks and spreading a soft sound of drops on the rooftops of the buildings. Inside a modest café in the heart of the city, the yellowish lighting and the smell of fresh coffee welcomed the few customers present. As soon as the door opened, a group of 4 black teachers entered, shaking their umbrellas. They took off their wet coats and sat at the table near the window. Their expressions showed exhaustion, not just physical, but emotional. It was Ricardo who noticed first. "Are you seeing this?" he said, with a tone of surprise and disbelief. The group turned to the direction he indicated, and there, in a discreet corner, sitting alone with a hood partially covering his face, was Steph Curry, the NBA star. "It can't be," said Anna, adjusting her glasses to make sure. Clara, still holding her bag, whispered, "It's really him. What is he doing here?" "It doesn't matter," replied Marcos, laughing. "If he's here, let's enjoy it. When will we have another chance to see someone like that up close?" Steph, realizing he was being seen, caught their gaze and smiled at the group. He waved discreetly, inviting them with a friendly gesture. The teachers hesitated, but Clara took the initiative and moved over. "Sorry to bother you, but you are Steph Curry?" Steph smiled. "I am, indeed. Please make yourselves comfortable." "No problem." They exchanged quick glances, surprised by his warmth, and joined him. The table became lively as the teachers asked questions about Curry's career and his games. But gradually, the conversation shifted to something more personal. "We didn't expect to find you in a place like this," said Anna. "I like quiet places," replied Steph. "And honestly, cafes like this always remind me of my childhood. My mom was a teacher, just like you. These places were where she relaxed after a tough day." Steph's words immediately struck a chord. Ricardo seized the opportunity to speak. "Teacher? So you know what our reality is like?" Steph nodded. "I do. I grew up watching my mom fight for respect and the right to teach without being underestimated." The teachers exchanged glances. It was rare for someone outside their profession to understand their struggles. The conversation flowed naturally, and the teachers began to share their stories. "Just today, they took another student out of my music class," Clara recounted. "They say it's not a priority, but I see the talent in those boys' eyes. They need art as much as they need math." "And can you do something about it?" asked Steph. Clara sighed. "I improvised drums with cans and started teaching composition. One of my students wrote a song about life in the neighborhood. He said that for the first time he felt heard." Steph smiled. "That's powerful. You are not just teachers. You are guides for these young people." Ricardo laughed bitterly. "Try telling that to the parents who think we shouldn't be in the classroom. Often, just because we are black, they doubt our abilities." Anna added, "And when we fight for better conditions, we're called problematic." Steph fell silent for a moment. He saw in their eyes the same resilience he knew from his mother. "You face more challenges than most can imagine. But that's exactly what makes your work even more important." Before he could continue, a nearby customer interrupted the conversation with a disdainful look. "You all make too much noise," he said, his voice dripping with contempt. "This cafe used to be a quiet place." The group fell silent, but Steph, with the calm that made him known both on and off the court, turned to the man. "I don't think our volume is the problem. What exactly bothers you?" The man hesitated but kept his aggressive tone. "It's so funny to see someone who thinks they can mix in anywhere." Steph spoke slowly. His calm demeanor was more intimidating than any aggressive response. "I'll tell you what's funny. It's seeing someone bothered by people who are just trying to make a difference." The man tried to retort, but Steph continued. "These teachers work harder in one day than you can imagine. They face prejudice, lack of resources, all to give children a better chance in life. If that bothers you, the problem isn't with them. It's with you." The silence in the cafe was absolute, The man, speechless, grabbed his coat and left, slamming the door. Steph returned to the table. "Sorry about that." Clara shook her head. "Don't apologize. No one has ever spoken for us like that." The conversation continued more lightly, and Steph decided to do something special. He called the waiter, paid for all the meals in the café, and upon returning, invited the group. "Dinner is on me. And one more thing. Today you all go home in style." The teachers looked at each other, confused, but followed Steph to the parking lot. There was his gleaming black SUV. "Get in." During the ride, Steph made a point to listen more about the challenges they faced and the dreams they had for their students. He saw that, despite everything, these teachers still carried hope. When they arrived at Clara's house, he saw a small basketball hoop in the yard. "Is this your son's?" "Yes, it is. He wants to be like you." Steph grabbed a marker and wrote on the hoop, "Dream big. Work hard. With love, Steph Curry." Clara began to cry, touched by the gesture. This will mean the world to him. Steph smiled. "You are already changing the world. Never forget that." The following week, Clara told her son about the meeting. He started to train with even more determination, inspired not only by Curry's signature, but by his words. Ricardo used what happened as an example in the classroom, showing students that respect and resilience can overcome any prejudice. Steph, for his part, mentioned the meeting in an interview, highlighting the importance of teachers and promising to support more educational projects. Small gestures can change lives, Steph thought that night, and he knew that this time he had made a difference.